Okay, welcome back to the channel, and today we're taking a look at Starforge PCs. So this is a PC builder that rose out of the ashes of Artesian Builds when that whole company just sort of collapsed after a live stream.
Oh, and there's the reroll. 2K followers is under my threshold.
Now recently, Gamers Nexus actually did a review of a Starforge PC. They looked at the build quality and all of that. I would encourage you to take a look at that video. If I remember to, I'll link it in the description down below. But today I wanted to focus mostly on the value proposition of Starforge PCs to see whether or not this is a company that it makes sense for you to buy from, or are there other similar builders out there that'll give you a better return on your investment. So let's hop right into a few of the builds and see what exactly it would cost you to build the exact same thing just yourself. So props on the landing page. It looks really nice, actually. I quite enjoy the look of their website, but we're gonna go to gaming PCs, and I am focused on the core builds here, and that's just because they're the more budget-friendly builds. Those are the ones that you're more likely to be recreating yourself. Of course, if this is something you're interested in doing and recreating one of these other builds, hey, they have all the parts listed, so you can go and check that out. But we're going to start with a few of these. The Horizon 2 core, this is sort of the lower end that they offer. This is a $1,000 gaming computer. If we scroll down just a little bit, we get to the actual tech specs that we have on board here. It's a Ryzen 5 5600. There is a Be Quiet cooler here, nothing special. It's not like a super fancy Be Quiet cooler, but it is a cooler that's above and beyond what you would get with like the Wraith Stealth that comes with the 5600. So no issue with that. You get 16 gigabytes of DDR4 running at 3600 megahertz. Great. An RX 6650 XT, that's an 8 gigabyte card. You get Wi-Fi on board with the motherboard. You get a 1 terabyte NVMe drive. Now, one of the value adds that they're doing here, Starforge is the cabling. You're getting cable mod cables, which are not, by the way, the cheapest of things. They're like anywhere from $30 to $50 depending on what kit you're getting or how many of the cables you need. However, worth noting, if you're recreating a build like this, you can get very similar cables from Amazon sellers that have all varieties of sleeved cables. Cable mod is likely higher quality, probably a little bit better, but you can get a similar effect for a little bit cheaper if you want to go that route. Just something to be aware of. Power supply and MSI 650 watt version. There's a few cooling fans in there. They have a custom case, and I want to talk about this custom case a little bit. And Gamers Nexus actually highlighted this as well, but this is the big concern with this case. You have all these fans up front, but they're pulling air through pretty small openings. So as far as a case choice goes, I actually really don't like the case they chose. I far prefer a case that can give you much better airflow without having to just brute force it with a ton of fans in the system, which, by the way, are going to run at a higher speed if they're just not running at a static speed. If they're using the motherboard to adjust the fan curve based on the temperature of like the CPU, those fans are going to run louder than they really need to because of the case choice. Not a big fan of that case choice. Just wanted to throw that out there. You do get Windows 11 Home probably activated. It doesn't say it's unactivated. I know some builders go with an unactivated Windows. This one appears to be activated, so worth factoring that in. But keep in mind, this is $1,000 for this PC. Now, over on the parts list, and by the way, the parts lists are also listed in the description down below. Here's basically this build. You get a Ryzen 5 5600, you get that same Be Quiet cooler, not the same motherboard. And this is where you could say, cheating a little bit, but it's cheaper in this case to get the motherboard separate from the Wi-Fi module. So I have an add-in card you'll see here in a minute. DDR4 memory, 3600, also CL18. Basically identical. 1 terabyte NVMe drive, though. Their NVMe drive may be a higher caliber drive. I've always preferred to go with just sort of commodity class SSDs, unless you really do need that DRAM cache and you're doing a lot with your SSD. If you're just gaming, though, you can probably get away just fine with just a commodity class SSD. We have a 6650 XT. The case I'm going with here, and this is from Newegg, But the reason I'm going with this case is very basic. It only has 2 fans, but has like this nice mesh front panel. So these fans are going to have easy access to airflow. And that's the whole purpose of this case choice over going with the same case that Starforge is using. Starforge has a custom variant of the case, but the case that Starforge is using, you can actually go and purchase that case, the CK560. That's a case you can just go and buy. The only difference is it won't have the Starforge logo in the middle of the case, but I far prefer a different case altogether. It looks like it's probably a solid case. I have a 700 watt power supply in there. Now I have a Wi-Fi adapter. This is an add-in card. The nice thing about that is that in future upgrades down the road, you can just carry that Wi-Fi card onto your next build. And I did go ahead and add a 120 millimeter fan. That's just to be an exhaust fan for this case. But all told, $750. If you want to count the Windows activation key, you can find those for $15, $20, $25. So we're still under the $800 mark. However, keep in mind, if you're buying from a system builder, you're going to get some warranty support. You're going to have one place to send the PC. If there's any kind of issues, you're going to have customer support. Whereas if you're doing it yourself, you don't get those sort of added on perks. So there is some value add to what Starforge is doing here. But just keep in mind, for a $1,000 PC, you can build it for about $200 to $250 less if you just do it yourself. And frankly, you can do it better because you can have a better case selection as well. Now moving on to the Horizon 2. This is not the core build. This is the slightly upgraded $1,150 variant. Again, though, same exact case solution they're going with, but from the CPU side, we're moving over to a 12400F. This I don't quite get. I don't understand why we move over to an Intel 12400F. It doesn't really seem to be an upgrade. If anything, in my mind, it's a downgrade because the upgrade possibilities are worse with the 12400F. That's just my perspective. You do get the deep cool AK400. You get that same 16 gigs of DDR4 memory, that same 6650 XT. You still get a motherboard with Wi-Fi on board. Now, though, obviously now we're going with a B660 motherboard because we switched from AMD to Intel there. Still get that 1 terabyte SSD, still get your 650 watt power supply. So basically what's changed here is the cooling solution has slightly changed and you've gone from AMD to Intel. And for that change, you're losing $150, which is probably why, even if you make those same changes, you can build yours for about $780. Again, throw on a Windows key and you're right at that $800 mark. So to me, the Horizon 2 build is actually not a good one. I would far prefer, if you're going to buy one of these, buy the core version with the AMD solution. You're going to save $150, and frankly, you have a better upgrade path in the future for your CPU. You have a drop-in CPU solution where you can go from all the way up to 16 cores and 32 threads, or you can get the Ryzen 7 5800 X3D if you're looking for just purely the best gaming performance. You have a couple of options there. Whereas the Horizon 2, it sticks you on an Intel platform where the upgrade path just isn't as good. So I don't like the Horizon 2. I like the Horizon 2 core build actually better than this. And then we move to the Horizon 2 Pro build. This is $1,350, at least as of the recording of this. We still have that 12400F, still have that cooling solution, still have the 16 gigs of DDR4 memory, but we've moved to an RTX 4060 Ti. That's the big upgrade with this system, though you also, worth noting, do get a power supply upgrade. You're up to 750 watts with this power supply. Once again, jumping over to a parts list here. This build, because of that jump in the GPU, I'm looking here at about $935, $950 if you throw on a Windows license, $955, maybe $960, depends where you get your Windows license. But again, in my mind, you can do it better for significantly cheaper at this point. You're still building this system with the 4060 Ti for less than the Starforge core build, that $1,000 build. But here, you're getting a significantly improved GPU performance here. You get, especially if you're a streamer, AV1 encoding is going to come with that 4060 Ti. So that's a nice upgrade to throw into the system and still be under the $1,000 price point. Now, if it were me, I would actually switch this system back to the AMD system and then go with that 4060 Ti and all that. And you could save just a little bit of money doing that. and still have that nice upgrade path I talked about earlier. So again, with the Starforge Horizon 2 Pro, I don't love the build. I actually do quite like the core build. To me, that's the one to get if you're going to get any of these from the Horizon 2 line. The core build to me is the most balanced one. It has the best price. It has a good upgrade path. The other two, I don't like their upgrade paths, and you can actually build for a lot cheaper if you do it yourself. Whereas at least the core build is a couple $100s off of what you could do by yourself, and you still do get those value adds I talked about with the warranty support, with the ability, if there's anything wrong, you have customer support there. Starforge looks like, based on the Gamers Nexus review, they have solid build quality. They had a couple of minor things they could definitely tighten up, but other than that, they actually had a pretty solid build put together. And their value proposition for at least the core build that I have here, the Horizon 2 Core, is a good one. So that would be the route to go. Now, if you are someone out there that has bought a PC from Starforge, I want to hear from you. Let us know in those comments down below, what was your experience buying from this PC builder? Good, bad, somewhere in between. Let us know all your thoughts down below. Otherwise, if you liked the video, like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things, very helpful for the channel. You can follow me both on Instagram and on Twitter at Hoosier Hardware. And as always, I'll let YouTube queue up a couple more videos for my channel for you to watch. I'm Shane with Hoosier Hardware, and I'll see you all in the next video.